Sometimes a person's actions can cause quite an alarm. Just give them a chance to explain, since they may have meant no harm. Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk, Book 23. I woke up extra early and changed out of my nightgown. It was as if I could smell Ellie's baking all the way from town. We all Snapchatted each other to say we were on our way. This was going to be the start of a very special day. But something wasn't right. Hannah wouldn't answer her phone. She blocked us after she posted that she wanted to be alone. We all arrived at Harry's Deli, wondering what could be the matter. Ellie came out to greet us with a mixing bowl filled with batter. "Hi, kids. Come in," she said. "I've got the table set with 10 places." Then one look at us and she asked, "Why the long faces?" We told her what Hannah said and she became quite concerned. "Don't jump to conclusions," she said. "That's something I've learned." "Perhaps you should go over to Hannah's," she said. "I'll come along." Hannah's mom and her were friends. She could ask what was wrong. As soon as we got to Mr. Brown's estate, a shocking sight we saw. There was a big "For Sale" sign stuck in the middle of his lawn. How could this be, just when things seemed to be going great? We continued up the driveway until we reached the front gate. Ellie said, "Maybe it's best if you all wait here before we go to visit." She rang the intercom and a woman's voice said, "Hello, who is it?" She recognized Rita's voice and answered, "Hi, friend, it's me, Ellie. I wanted to thank Hannah with this jar of homemade apple jelly. The farmers really appreciated the kids lending a helping hand. Plus, they donated the fruit in the pails, which is going to be canned. I was hoping this morning after breakfast I could ask them all to stay. Canning the fruit is a lengthy process. It would take the entire day. But when Hannah didn't show up, her friends all wondered why." Then it sounded like Hannah's voice in the background starting to cry. Rita answered, "I'll open the gate. Please, all of you, let yourselves in." The speaker was still on and we heard, "Now wipe your tears and try to grin." As we walked in, Hannah picked up Gus and ran out of the room crying. "She's so upset that we have to move," her mom said, sighing. Rita said, "Mr. Brown is moving back to his hometown in Nashville, Tennessee. He has offered to keep our jobs, plus a new house for our family. There's no other choice. He's all we've known since we moved from Mexico. We'll be starting to pack, and in less than a week we have to go." Ellie walked over to Rita and put her arms around her friend. Rita said, "Hannah has fit in with a nice group. Now a broken heart she'll have to mend." Just then, Rennie jumped up and let out a great big howl. We looked out the window and we heard a loud growl. It was Ronnie and Clyde, the guard dogs, playing tug with a broken collar. Then suddenly Mr. Brown ran in, waving a brand new $1. "I was given one of these," he said, "when I opened my first store." He handed it to Ellie, saying, "May it bring you good luck and lots more." He saw the sad faces as he looked around the room. "Looks like you all lost your best friend. Why all the gloom?" He was clueless that his move was going to take their friend away. Kaylin cried, "Oh, Mr. Brown, don't sell your house. Please stay." "I had no idea my happy retirement was the cause of such an upset. I was here to ask you all to come take a ride in my private jet, to see the wonderful town in Tennessee where I grew up." Then he lifted his hand to sip his milk, but instead dropped the cup. "I'm so sorry," Mr. Brown cried. "I spilled milk all over the floor." The pets dashed over, licked it up, then looked at him for more. I guess that saying, "don't cry over spilled milk," is true, said Mr. Brown. I'd say we've got some planning, so let's all just sit right down. He continued, Rita and Steve have been great employees. To me they are very dear. I wouldn't want to make them move if they could both find jobs right here. Then Jess stood up with Kaylin's famous pose, saying, What about the bakery? If Mom hires Rita and Steve, then the whole family can stay. Standing up, Ellie turned to Rita and Steve and extended her hand. Would you like to join my team? She offered. It sure would be grand. Tears welled up in Rita's eyes as she looked over at Steve. This is like a dream come true, he said. We really didn't want to leave. Steve continued, Finding a place to live might take a little time. I will pay the first year rent, smiled Mr. Brown. The pleasure is all mine. Then Ellie remembered, There is an empty apartment above the bakery site. Then it's settled, said Mr. Brown. New home, new jobs, things worked out just right. To be continued.